Hello my loves, my name is Janae and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about something I know so many of us manifestors struggle with, and that is needing your manifestation so badly that it feels like it's actually running away from you. Trust me, I get it. Waiting for something to magically work out for you all of a sudden is really hard, especially when your mind is programmed or conditioned to think that instant gratification is normal. Everywhere you look, someone is talking about how they manifested their dream life in 90 days, or 30 days, or a week, or whatever short amount of time they want to say. And you're sitting here thinking like, wait, why can't I manifest that fast? Why can't I do that? When will it be my turn? Especially when you're doing everything right, like visualizing or saying your affirmations or every other manifestation technique out there. And that's usually the moment where your desires stop feeling exciting and start feeling more heavy. Because now it's not just something you want, it's something you feel like you need to have or need to happen so you can finally relax. And the thing is, needing something that badly doesn't make you weak or desperate. It makes you human, especially in a world that constantly shows you highlight reels and overnight success stories with zero context. The universe doesn't respond to how badly you want something. It responds to how safe your body feels around wanting it. And when you're in that space of, when is it my turn, your nervous system is usually not calm. So even though your mind is saying, I trust, it's coming, I believe, your body is saying, okay, but like, are we okay right now? Have we meditated today? Have we visualized today? Have we done anything productive manifestation-wise? Have we journaled today? And that's usually where the disconnect starts to happen. Because I say this all the time, by the way, manifestation is a full body practice. When you're constantly counting days, replaying timelines in your head, that energy becomes urgent or tense, and urgency doesn't feel safe to receive from. And that's why it can feel like the more you want it, the farther away it gets, because pressure makes your desires feel like a responsibility instead of an invitation. And I want you to hear this clearly. You're not pushing your manifestations away because you care too much. You're pushing it away because your nervous system feels like your happiness depends on it. And that's a lot of pressure to put on one outcome. It's like trying to force someone into a relationship with you. But anyways, today's topic is going to be detachment. I have manifested probably the most things from detaching from the outcomes, so I'm going to teach you guys a little bit about that today. But first, I have a few announcements for you. For starters, Happy New Year. I know it's February. Don't come for me. I know the last time I posted was Christmas, or no, right before Christmas, I believe, and I said I was going to do a birthday video. Change of plans. I will be postponing that video to next year, to 2027. I didn't really have the time since I had a lot going on for the holidays and for my birthday at the beginning of the year, hence why this video is coming out in February. I just really didn't want to overload myself so early in the year, so I gave myself some time, and I enjoyed the first month of the year, and now I'm back at it, doing the things I love to do. Next announcement, I have officially made a podcast. I know, it's so exciting. It's called The Dreamy Lounge, and it's available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So if you're listening to this on either of those platforms, hi, nice to meet you, nice to have you here. I will be posting all my YouTube videos on the podcast, almost like a early access kind of thing, so I can be more consistent since I am a faceless account anyway. It's way easier to edit an audio and put it on podcasts, and then it gives me more time to actually edit a full video and put it out on YouTube without feeling like I haven't posted in like 20 years. So make sure you go follow me on either of those platforms, or both, whichever one you want to do. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to talk about today, so let's get into the video. Okay, let's first talk about what detachment actually is. Detachment, to me, is about needing less emotional reassurance from the outcome. When you need the manifestation to arrive so you can finally feel successful or wealthy or loved or confident, your nervous system isn't hearing your affirmations. All it's hearing is, I need, and your body interprets that as, I'm not safe yet, I'm not okay, I can't relax until this happens. So energetically, it's not that the universe is saying you're not ready in a judgmental way, it's that your system feels like it's still in survival mode. And when you're clinging to an outcome like that, it usually means your self-trust and your self-love aren't fully anchored yet, because you've been outsourcing your sense of worth to something external. And let's be honest, most of the things that we're chasing, once we get them, we're completely over it. The emotional high wears off because no external thing was ever meant to carry the job of stabilizing you. So if you believe, once I get this, I'll finally feel okay, your nervous system already knows that's not true, and it resists. Because deep down, your body understands, if we attach our peace to this outcome, we're going to be right back here chasing the next thing. And that's why I'm teaching you how to detach today. We are removing the emotional pressure you're putting on your desires to fix you, whether it's conscious or not. When your body feels safe before the manifestation arrives, it makes it way easier to accept it and to hold it. This is where I think a lot of people get confused. When they hear detachment, they think it means I shouldn't want this anymore. I need to stop caring. I have to act unbothered, right? And that's not it at all, actually. Detachment doesn't feel numb. It doesn't feel cold, and it definitely doesn't feel like giving up. Detachment feels stable. It's stability. It's when you still want the thing, but your mood isn't rising and falling based on whether it shows up today or not. If you can think about your desires without any type of panic or negative feeling, you're already winning. In fact, the biggest sign that you've detached is when you stop needing signs or reassurance about it. You're no longer asking, is it coming today? Did I do something wrong? Am I messing this up? Am I ready or worthy yet? Is this really what I should be manifesting? Maybe I'm asking for too much from the universe and that's why it hasn't shown up yet. Girl, stop. Please. All these questions are giving me a headache. That is simply just your anxiety looking for certainty. The universe does not require you to interrogate yourself every time something hasn't shown up yet. Detachment is when you stop cross-examining your worth just because timing hasn't matched your expectations. Besides, the universe isn't supposed to match your expectations anyway. It's supposed to exceed them. If only you let it go and flow and let the universe do what it does best.
First off, oh my God, can you let me do what I need to do?
If you were truly doing something wrong, your body wouldn't be anxious. It would more than likely be very clear. Anxiety always comes from trying to control an outcome you don't need to control. You don't detach by telling yourself to stop wanting. You detach by trusting yourself enough to stop checking. You have to trust that you did not miss your chance, you didn't mess up the process, you're not asking for too much, and that you don't need to prove readiness to receive. It's not necessary. When you're detached, your desires feel calmer, less urgent even, because it's no longer being fueled by fear. Attachment feels like I still want this, but I'm not putting my life on pause while I wait. It's when you can go about your day and make plans, laugh, rest, enjoy yourself without feeling like you're betraying your manifestation because you didn't meditate this morning or you forgot to journal before you went to bed last night. Because you're not. You're actually making it easier for it to arrive. And the moment you stop needing constant reassurance from the universe is usually the moment things start moving because your nervous system is regulated and your body feels safe enough to receive it. This is also a really important conversation because I really don't want you to hear detachment and think it means tolerating less than you deserve. Detachment is not settling, and detachment is not staying in situations that consistently feel wrong. Detachment is about releasing urgency, not your standards. And this is where the cracked plate theory comes in. If you've never heard of it, the cracked plate theory basically says, if someone keeps serving you food on a cracked plate, at some point you stop being grateful for the food and start noticing the crack. And a lot of people confuse detachment with accepting the cracked plate. They say things like, maybe I'm being too impatient, or maybe I should just be grateful. Maybe this is the universe teaching me to let go and be open to new things. But the difference is, if you feel calm, grounded, and clear, and you're allowing things to unfold without force, that's detachment. If you feel uneasy, dismissed, drained, or constantly explaining away discomfort, that, my friends, is settling. I actually have been learning this a lot lately because I've been apartment hunting, and I really want an apartment with windows covering my entire wall. I want an open concept. That way the living room and like the kitchen are in one space. I want a balcony. I want wood floors everywhere. I want a window in my bathroom too. Don't ask. I want a marble waterfall island. I want light wood floors and cabinets. All these different requirements, right? And I found an apartment with the window in the bathroom, and the spacious rooms, and the open concept, and the marble waterfall island, right? But the windows didn't cover my entire wall. The kitchen was white. The floors were a light gray and a bunch of different things that didn't give me exactly what I wanted. But of course, the apartment was still super cute, so I attached myself to it and justified it not being perfect by saying, maybe I'm being picky. Maybe God has a plan for me and I'm stopping it by hyperfixating on all these different requirements that I don't really need. Wrong. But anyway. Then I went to go tour the apartment, and I wasn't even able to get a tour. Also, when I went on the website to figure out why I wasn't able to get a tour, I saw a bunch of negative reviews of the place, basically saying, do not live here, it's horrible here and you're gonna hate it. What? And what's funny is if I didn't attach myself to a cracked plate, I wouldn't have been disappointed that the apartment I wanted, that wasn't even half of what I asked for, wasn't the greatest choice. Obviously. And guess what? I continued searching after that, and I found exactly what I asked for. And more. Every requirement I named before is in the apartment, and it's even better than I imagined. So, the moral of the story is, don't settle for BS. Don't do it, girls. Stop. Your body knows the difference. Because if I had leaned more into detachment and said, I don't need to rush this, I trust that what's aligned for me will come to me, instead of settling and saying, I don't want to lose this, so I'll ignore the cracks. The very visible crack. And by the way, rushing usually comes from fear, not your intuition. Fear says if I don't act now, I'll miss my chance. While intuition says if it's meant for me, it won't require me to betray myself or lower my standards. You are never meant to detach from your self-respect or your boundaries, and that awareness alone will save you so much time and energy. Alright, so now the question becomes, how do I actually detach? The first shift is deciding your life is still happening right now. A lot of attachment comes from living in the mental space of when. When is this going to come? When is this going to happen? When I finally get the call? When the money finally hits my bank account? When I finally get that text back? And while you're living in when, your nervous system is sitting in limbo. Think about it like applying for a job. You leave the interview, and instead of breathing and saying, if it's meant for me, it'll work out, your brain starts replaying every little thing you did wrong. You're overthinking what the work environment might be like, what coworkers will be like. You're checking your phone every 10 minutes, sitting, waiting, monitoring. Attachment feeds on checking your phone, your analytics, your checking for signs, checking for movement. And every time you check, you quietly reaffirm one thing. It's not here yet. The fastest way to detach is to stop putting your emotional life on hold until the thing arrives. Take a deep breath. You're not in a waiting room. It's okay. Your manifestation is meant to be an addition to your life, not the source of it. And the moment you start living again instead of monitoring, your nervous system softens. Another huge shift is expanding your identity beyond the desire. Attachment shrinks your world down to one role, the girl waiting on this one thing. Detachment happens when you remember that's not the only version of you that exists. You're a creator, you're a friend, you're a learner, a woman building a whole life for herself, someone with multiple desires unfolding at the same time. When your life gets bigger, the pressure on one outcome naturally loosens. Because now your sense of meaning isn't tied to whether that one manifestation shows up this week. It's tied to your growth, your purpose, your faith in the universe, the woman you're becoming, the life you're building. And then the desire becomes part of the journey. And the last shift is replacing control with self-trust. At the root of attachment is this quiet fear. If you don't hold on to this tightly, it won't happen. Detachment is your nervous system learning, I don't have to force what's meant for me. You build that by making decisions without overanalyzing every possible outcome, by keeping promises to yourself, by letting small things unfold without micromanaging them. Because every time you show yourself that you can trust yourself, the urge to grip everything else starts dissolving. And this is the part that people really don't realize, is that detachment is about letting go of the version of you that thinks everything falls apart if it doesn't happen immediately. So if you take nothing else from this video, let it be this. You manifest way faster when your body feels safe enough to receive it. Because now you're no longer saying, I need this to happen so I can finally be okay. You're just okay. And that's the energy that attracts. That's the energy that makes you magnetic. And honestly, this is exactly why I created Magnetic Manifestation. Because manifestation is about rewiring the relationship you have with control, worthiness, timing, and trust. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't chase outcomes for emotional survival. You become someone who naturally attracts what aligns because your energy is stable, grounded, and self-led. Inside Magnetic Manifestation, I go way deeper into this. We talk about self-sabotage, nervous system safety, identity shifts, emotional regulation, and how to actually embody the version of you who receives. Not just money and love, but anything you want. So if detachment is something you struggle with and you're ready to deepen the work you're already doing right now, this guide is for you. I'll have it linked in the description for you to explore whenever you feel ready. Alright my loves, I think that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!